Hello everyone, welcome to this presentation, the presentation in which I'm going to be giving light responses to the questions that are asked in the street interview that I conducted. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Okay, today is 8th January 2018 and my name is Daniel Nakudiayo. I am student in Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. And I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a deliverable called Street Interview Video. I'm working on for a project called Government and You. The interview will be used to create the deliverable called Street Interview, as I have said, and submit it to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in College for America online evaluation system to which only evaluator and College for America staff will have access. So do you have any question about this?
No question.
No questions? Okay. Then do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes.
Then if yes, then we are going to state this statement. You say your name. Okay, you can go on.
I, Pacific Uemana,
give my informed consent
give my informed consent
to participate in this interview, to be recorded and used as part of students' academic work. Great.
Then you can also go on.
Okay.
I
say your name.
Jambo Skoshombo gives my informed consent to participate, to be recorded, to participate in this interview, to be recorded and used as a part of academic work.
Okay, great. And then I'm going to be asking you some questions related to the interview that I'm conducting. So, what are the three branches of government? U.S. government, our government. What are the three branches?
I know judicial one,
Okay. Come on.
legislative. You asked the three?
Yeah, three of them.
I know two.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay. What about you?
I know legislative, judicial, and I know legislative and judicial.
Great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. The first question asked, what are three branches of U.S. government? The three branches of U.S. government are no other than judiciary branch, and judiciary branch is led by Supreme Court, and is a branch that decide arguments about the meaning of laws and how the law are applied. It also checks whether there is any law that violates the Constitution. As I said, it is led by Supreme Court, but again there are also other federal courts in it. The second branch is executive branch, and executive branch is headed by president. This is a branch that carries out and enforces the laws that are made. It includes president, as I said, vice president, the cabinet, executive departments, independent agencies, and other boards, as well as commissions and committees. The third branch is legislative branch, and this is a branch that consists Senate and House of Representatives, which is generally known as the Congress. This branch is charged with passing the nation's law and allocating funds for the running of federal government and providing assistance to 50 U.S. states. What does each branch do? Branch do.
So,
From what you have said.
okay, so when I hear legislative, I understand Rego. So
Okay.
I think it deals with Rego staffs, things like that.
Very good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what about any other branch?
No,
Okay.
when I hear about judicial, understand about justice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
So which means it may be related to justice and...
Yes, justice related.
Okay.
The second question they'll ask them is, what does each branch do, and how are they connected? These branches are arranged in a form of triangle, with the executive branch topping the triangle, and the other two branches, judicial and legislative, being at the bottom of the triangle. Each branch has its own responsibilities and powers. But again, the system of checks and balance prevents each branch from gaining much power from others. For example, President may refuse the law passed by Congress, and the Congress can override a veto of 2/3 of both houses. Another example is that the Supreme Court may check Congress by declaring a law unconstitutional in order to balance the power. The Supreme Court members are appointed by the President. But again, the appointment have to be approved by the Congress. So you understand how they work, they regulate each other to prevent each other from gaining much power from others. So they work hand in hand, which is something good. Then Democrats and Republicans are the major parties in the US, in the United States of America.
Yes.
Then can you name a third party? Apart from Democrats and Republicans.
What I know is the Democrats and the Republicans, but the third party maybe can be Green Party, I don't know.
Green Party? Okay. Thank you for trying.
I have no idea for
You
sure.
don't have an idea? Okay. The third question that I asked them, it was Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Then I asked them to name the third party. Actually, there are other minor parties other than Democrats and Republicans, such as Green Party, Libertarian, and others. Then I also wanted to know how the two-party system started. What is the history of two-party system? So at the beginning, in 1789, US didn't have two-party system. It only had George Washington, who did not have a party. So how does two-party system come in now? The rise for party started between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson challenged Adams under the banner of Democratic Republican Party, where Democrats focused on the will of people, while Republicans focused on the rule of the law. Then later on, in 1828, Andrew Jackson became the first president from a new party, Democrats. And later on now, the Northern abolitionists gave birth to a new party in 1856, which is Republican. And Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president in the US. In 1864, this is the year that marked the beginning of this party system that we had, the two-party system that we had. From that time onwards, even till today, these parties, I mean Republican, Democrat, have been replacing each other on the presidential position. This is how the two-party system came in, and how they have been impacting each other. And the last question will be, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
A bill becomes a
Yeah,
law.
the basic process for a bill to become a law.
What I really think, if there is, in order for a bill to be a law, there is a process where the people or the certain people can give a recommendation on something that they want to be done,
Okay.
and it is presented to the parliament, and the parliament deals with that things that they want to become a law, and they take it. Once the parliament done discussing, maybe they can take it to the president, and once the president confirms that that thing can be a law, like the bill becomes law through like discussion and the confirmation from the president.
Wow, that's great. What about you?
Exactly. The same understanding.
The same understanding. Okay, it's fine. Thank you very much. This is the end of our interview, and I really appreciate your attention and your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. The fourth questions that I asked in the interview was to describe the basic process by which a bill becomes a law. According to National Human Genome Research Institute, this is the process by which a bill becomes a law. This process is a bit longer because it has 10 steps through which a bill becomes a law. The first step, the bill is born. Anyone can draft or introduce a bill, and once it is drafted, it is sent to committee action. So what the committee action does is to examine it and decide whether it can go on or not. Once committee action approves the bill, then it continues. Once it does not, then the bill is dead by that time. Then the third step is subcommittee review. So what the subcommittee review does, they make studies and hearings on the bill so as to understand it. Then once the hearings are done, the bill is sent to markup, where they make changes or amendments before they can recommend it to the full committee. Then the fifth step is committee action to report a bill. So when the committee receives a bill from subcommittee, they make changes or they adjust it. Then they make what is called ordering a bill reported. They order it. So the sixth step is called voting, where the bill is voted. Then once it succeeds, it gets many votes, then it continues. Once it is defeated, then it is done. So the seventh step is referral to other chamber. So when the House or Senate passes a bill, then it is referred to other chamber. Then the chamber may approve a bill as received, may reject it. They can even ignore it or change it to make some adjustments. Then the eighth step is conference committee action. Now, when the actions of other chamber are done, then the conference is formed to reconcile differences between the House and the Senate. Then if the conference are unable to reach the agreement, then the legislation dies at that time. But if the agreement is reached, then the conference report is prepared and they describe committee's members' recommendations for changes. So both Houses and Senate should approve the conference report for it to continue. Then the ninth step is final action. Then this is where the president, the bill is sent to the president now. So the president, if the president approves the bill, he signs it, and then the bill becomes law at the time. But if the president takes no action in 10 days, then the bill dies at the time. Then the last, which is the 10th step, is overriding a veto. So if a president vetoes a bill, the Congress may attempt to override the veto. Yeah, it can happen. And if both Senate and House pass the bill by 2/3 majority, then the president's veto is overruled and the bill becomes a law. So this is the basic process through which a bill becomes a law, from the draft up to the bill being a law. Then at the time a law is born. That's how the laws are made from a bill following that process. So the role of the committee on legislative process. Committee are a crucial part of legislative process, and they mainly do 4 actions. The committee requests written comments from relevant agencies. They also hold hearings to gather additional information and review from non-committee experts. So they collect different information and views from different experts. The committee works to perfect the measure of amending the bill and the resolution. Then once the language is agreed upon, the committee sends the measure back to the full Senate. Sometimes it also gives a report that describes the perceived measures. Okay, thank you very much. This was all about my presentation and giving the right responses to the street interviews that I've conducted, and I hope I'm going to collect the errors in person with the interviewees that I have made, so that we can understand how US government works in order to be good citizens. Thank you very much. And it's all about contributing to the society. Thank you so much.